Om Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Samasta Janakalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram Vasudevasutam Devam Kamsachanunamardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. The sixth chapter on meditation is what we are seeing, and we left off at shloka number 8. So starting from shloka number 7, Bhagavan is enumerating conditions which allows us to meditate. And the reason why Bhagavan goes through these qualities is so that we are able to cultivate these qualities, not just for meditation, but for even great focus in our life. If we want to focus, these qualities allow us to excel in this material world, keep our single pointed attention. Even in this material world, we are able to reap success. So over here in shloka number 7, we saw this last week. Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha. And in this we saw Jitatmana prashantasya paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tathamanapamanayoho. Jitatmanaha, the one who has conquered his own mind. Jita atmanaha prashantasya. Over here, Jita atmanaha also means the one who has conquered the senses. At the level of the body, we see over here, at the level of the body, conquering all the senses, and mind is nothing but the presiding deity of all the senses. So Jitatmanaha, all the senses at the level of the body and the mind which presides over it, all of them combined over here. Then Prashantasya, the one who has acquired tranquility of that mind. Jitatmanaha, senses controlled. Prashantasya, the mind withdrawn and incredibly quiet. Paramatma samahitaha, Paramatma, the none other than the absolute soul, that Om over here, which is within all of us, that samahitaha. So the lower self, the green stuff that you see over here, all that green stuff is none other than the embodied soul. And that embodied soul over here is the reflection of the higher self. So all that Paramatma samahitaha, and that Paramatma samahitaha shitoshna sukha dukkheshu tatha manapamanayoho, keeping all the sensory inputs at the level of the body, shita ushna, hot and cold, shita cold, ushna hot, all of them, sukha dukkha, joys and sorrows, mana and apamana, honor and dishonor, all of these, keeping all of them. So at the level of this BMI right over here, all of them, shita ushna, sukha dukkha, and mana and apamana, all of them, the entire body, mind, and intellect, the entire equipment is tranquil. And this is to be cultivated not just as a prerequisite for meditation, but if we cultivate this personality, which is silent, is not complaining at the level of the body, Shita Ushna, hot and cold. Today it happens to be a cold day, and just few more months it'll be a hot day. So basically, any types of complaints that we have at the level of the body. So we are not too much involved at the level of the body. Not the dialogue is not continuously about the body, about the body, about the body. So that is called Shita Ushna. All of them, samahitaha, very well placed. A person is not involved continuously in taking care of the body, taking care of the body, taking care of the mind, taking care of the mind. You know, over here, sukha and dukkha, joy and sorrow. Understand that this cycle is always going to be there, and we have to just accept it, learn to work with it, and move on. So when we have all of this equipment placed properly, Paramatma samahitaha, Paramatma, that embodied soul, is placed well, that is when we can start meditating. Now, next shloka. Jnana vijnana truptatma kutastho vijitendriyaha yukta ityuchyate yogi samaloštashma kanchanaha. So over here, very nicely it is said, Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. The jiva finds himself, herself to be trupta. Trupta, completely satisfied. Satisfied with what? Over here, Jnana Vijnana Truptatma. The knowledge which has been acquired in our life, that knowledge should come to bless us. Shankaracharya ji in his other textbook says that that yad jnanam tat Prashamakaram yatindriyana. Knowledge is that which silences our senses. Prashamakaram indriyana. So that is very important, that we have knowledge of the entire worldly matter around us. Knowledge of chemistry, knowledge of physics, knowledge of biology, and it goes on and on and on. Umpteen fields are there. Even technology, the very technological thing which is used in this pravachan also, but it doesn't pacify our mind. It doesn't bring about trupti. It doesn't bring about satisfaction. So our goal in life is to acquire knowledge which brings deep resonating silence and trupti. That is called jnana. Worldly knowledge, even when we get a doctorate's degree or a PhD or become a whatever degree, we become so happy. And that happiness, we even have a party, graduation party, this, that, and we've acquired knowledge. But how long those fun days, as long as the people are there in the party, and then the life has to go on. But the spiritual knowledge is that which gives us satisfaction. It gives us fulfillment. So jnanam is knowledge, and vijnan is that knowledge which we retain and apply. That is vijnana. One knowledge is information, but the information has to transform us. And when that information transforms us, that's called vijnana. Jnana vijnana truptatma. Trupti comes from there. Something calamitous happens, and we take a stock of what has happened, and then we do what we need to do, and we quickly tend to the problem, and we are able to come back to our tranquil nature. Only when knowledge has been digested, it will allow us to do that. Jnana vijnana truptatma. The living entity over here which is talked about is none other than the embodied soul. So, jnana vijnana truptatma kutastho vijitendriyaha. Kutastha vijitendriyaha. Vijita indriya, that soul has conquered all the senses. Vijita indriya, kutastha, like anvil, like the person remains unmoved in the ups and downs of life. It is called over here spiritually situated. And spiritually situated means this person is abiding in knowledge. And when this person is abiding in knowledge, when they are abiding in this wisdom, knowledge turned into wisdom, that is called kutastha, unmoved. Those people are absolutely unmoved. Kutastha vijitendriyaha yukta iti uchyate. Yuktaha, integrated, iti uchyate, thus it is known. Who? A yogi. A yogi who has integrated. The first one was the integration of the equipment of the body, mind, and intellect. Now, with this shloka is the integration, sameness with regards to the world after having acquired knowledge. And that knowledge has now marinated and turned into wisdom. So such a yogi, samaloshtashmakanchanaha, we can throw anything at this person. Sama, the mind is in samya avastha. The mind is equanimous. The mind is tranquil. The mind remains where it is. Sama. And then loshta, a lump of clay. Ashma is a rock, a stone. Kanchana, gold. So a lump of clay, a rock, and gold, we will all have the same value. So this is the material world, meaning the person is not disturbed by the material world. If a valuable thing like gold arrives, he understands the relative value of it. That's all. Doesn't get carried away with it. So, sameness, equanimity at the level of mind is talked about over here. And when the mind is equanimous, the person's dealing with the world is very precise, clear, and transparent. And Bhagavan Krishna in 2nd chapter had defined Samatva Yoga Muchyate. This is the samatha at the level of the world. When such a person at the level of the world exists, they realize that this world is not capable of looting away any type of vitality from us. We allowed the world to steal off our inside inner equipoise. So this is equanimous at the level of the world. Now, equanimity at the level of people, the next shloka we see. The next shloka, Suhrun mitraryudasinam madhyastha dvesha bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. So, Suhrun, Mitra, Ari, Udasina, Madhyastha, Dvesha Bandhushu. So various people are indicated over here. Suhrun. Suhrun is a well-wisher. A well-wisher, the one who is our own well-wisher. Mitra, the one who is a friend. The well-wisher is a good-hearted one. Friend is good-hearted for us. Ari, an enemy. Udasina, the one who is neutral. Madhyastha, the one who is indifferent. Neutral, indifferent. Udasina is indifferent actually. And then Dvesha, the one who is having all type of hatred. Dvesha, sadhu, bandhushu, and the relatives who are our own relatives closer to us. So these are all the different people who are classified around us. People fall under any one of these categories, either a good-hearted Suhrun, a Mitra, a friend, Ari, an enemy, Udasina, the indifferent one, Madhyastha, neutral one, Dvesha, the one who hates, bandhushu, and all the relatives. So amongst all of these, it is said over here, Suhrun mitra udasina madhyasya dvesha bandhushu sadhushvapi cha papeshu. The person could be a sadhu mahatma, a great noble person. Sadhu shvapicha papeshu. It could be even a sinful one. The one who is committing errors and who is committing sins, whatnot. But the yogi is equanimous with all of them. The personality doesn't get tossed up and down, up and down. If it is a friend or a well-wisher becoming over-related, or if it is an enemy or somebody who hates becoming down, all of these things are not there. We do not allow the people of this world to dictate our inner mental peace. That is what is said over here. When we do not allow others to disturb our inner peace, we remain where we are. Such a person is equanimous with the world of people, the world of objects, the world of people, and the world of situations. The person remains equanimous, the person remains quiet. And such a person who has controlled their own mind, who has controlled their own equipment, such people are meditation worthy. Look at all these qualifications. A person who has gained composure. So only when we have lived a life of karma yoga, when we have lived a noble divine life, when we have accepted all that comes to us as Ishwar's prasad, and when we have learned to just serve the world and people around us, and we don't place our own key to happiness in this world, the world of people is what we just saw. The world of objects, the previous shloka, when it came to a lump of clay, a stone, or gold. The world of material world around us, we do not allow the material world to snatch away our inner tranquility. We do not allow the world of people to snatch away our inner tranquility. And we do not allow the world of situations to snatch away our tranquility. Such a person of inner equipoise and inner silence, such a person over here is capable of meditating, is what Bhagavan is saying. So, sadhu shvapicha papeshu samabuddhir vishishyate. Such a person excels. Vishishyate, they advance further. Advance into where? Advance further into the realm of meditation. And even if the person doesn't want to climb the ladder of spirituality, at least they will succeed in the material world. And that is what this shloka is saying, sameness with regard to people. Now, Bhagavan is taking from shlokas number 10 through 15. The upcoming 6 shlokas, Bhagavan Krishna is going to talk about certain adjustments required for meditation. So the personality adjustment is talked about now, some antaranga sadhana, some spiritual practice that has allowed a person to excel in their meditative life. So now we see shloka number 10 is what we are going to see. Yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitah एकाकीयत चित्तात्मा निराशीर परिग्रहः. So, this shloka says, Yogi yunjita satatam. Yogi, a spiritual aspirant, Satatam yunjit, continuously this person unites themselves with the higher. They concentrate on consciousness. They are continuously, if not united with consciousness, at least they are optimistic. They are uniting themselves with the higher flow of life. So, yogi yunjita satatam atmanam rahasi sthitaha. And the person, rahasi, the dwelling place, wherever they are, rahasi sthitaha, they abide in a quiet, secluded place. Quiet, secluded place. Now imagine if somebody is living in the middle of Mumbai. How will that place be quiet? Small apartments, so many people cramped in one living space. So nobody can meditate over there. So what is talked about is they remain secluded in the kingdom of their mind. The kingdom of their mind is always placed in the secluded arena with Bhagwan, in the secluded arena of the Lord. Person may be waiting for a train on the busiest railway station of Mumbai, or Borivali or Dadar or wherever, and they found 15 minutes before the train comes, and they quietly find on a busy platform just 15 minutes to even stand. And those 15 minutes, they invoke the Lord of the mountain, Lord Shiva, seated on Kailasha. In the busy place, the mind is placed in tranquility. This is what is referred to over here as Atmanam Rahasi Sthitaha. Because where do we find 24 hours to meditate? We are so busy with so many things that we are doing. But even like 2-3 minutes sprinkled across our entire day, if we can find few minutes to unite with the higher. This is cultivating a habit of placing the mind in a silent place. This is yogi yunjita satatam. See, satatam word is continuous. Continuously 24 hours, we cannot meditate. But throughout our waking day, however many attempts we make to silence ourselves is Atmanam Rahasi Sthitaha. we take this mind to that place. Ekaki yata chittatma, ekaki, and alone in the kingdom of the mind, along with the Lord over there, yata, with great effort, mind which is conquered, yata chittatma, a very carefully conquered mind, with great effort, that mind has been taken to a very tranquil divine place within. Ekaki yata chittatma nirashi, without having any expectations, aparigraha, no feeling of attachment to world of objective reality. They have let go of everything and entered into the quiet, sacred, silent chamber. This is what Bhagavan is talking about, free from this possessiveness. So very beautifully over here, nirashi yoga, a desire for possessing, and aparigraha, free from greed of having all things around and not letting go of them. So that is kshema. So we have placed all the yoga and kshema in the hands of Bhagavan, and Bhagavan is taking care of us. And because the person has truly placed the well-being in the hands of Bhagavan, they are free from the inner disturbances of the mind, and thus yogi yunji tasatatam. Over here, atmanam rahasi sthitah ekaki yatachittatma nirashira parigraha. Such a person who poise, with great poise, the mind is withdrawn, and however many attempts they get to spend in the silent chamber with Bhagavan, the person does that. So that is called satatam. Continuously, whenever we find time throughout the whole day, even if it is for moments, even if it is for just moments, your meeting is about to start and you have some 40 seconds before the meeting starts. You can close for 20 seconds eyes. Withdraw the mind at the feet of Bhagavan. Feel the presence and the silence of Bhagavan. Take a deep breath at the feet of Bhagavan. Slowly exhale, and you can open your eyes and start the meeting. This type of abidance is what is talked about over here as a person who wants to meet Bhagavan in meditation. They are able to meditate in fits and starts for 20 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes. So a habit is formed, so that when they actually sit down for 20-30 minutes, the 20-30 minutes becomes a powerful union with the higher. Every time they are not searching for a path to reach over there, they have walked this path so many times. Remember, I gave this example of a very busy Mumbai railway station of Borivalli. Before the train comes, imagine, for 10 minutes, it is said the countdown has started for the next train to come, and we have 10 minutes. And the person in a busy area takes and ushers the mind to the silence. This type of practice is very, very important. I know we all live over here in this country. We don't have to deal with the traffic of Borivalli station. But if somebody living in such conditions can do it, then silently as we are driving to grocery store, the traffic light has just turned red and you know you have a minute. Instead of listening to some nonsense on radio station or whatnot, we can gather ourselves for 20 seconds, 30 seconds. This is called Yogi Yunjita Satatam. You can park your car before you even enter your work or groceries or whatever we need to do. We live in a country where there is a lot of personal space around us, you know. And people in India, they don't have that much personal space. But now for meditation, the space of the mind is very important. And we have to lead the mind to Ishvara. And thus, it is important that we learn to meditate even in just few minutes. We can grab our mind's attention and usher it towards the higher, is what Bhagavan is talking about. Continuing shloka number 11 now. Shucho deshe pratisthapya sthiramasanam atmanah natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. So now the actual semantics and practice of meditation is what Bhagavan is now talking about. And Bhagavan is now in 11 shlokas saying, Shucho deshe pratisthapya. In a very clean place. Shucho, a sanctified, a clean place. Deshe pratisthapya, having seated in that. Sthiramasana. Asana becoming sthira, a very firm, na ati uchritam, na ati nicham. Not too high, way out on the mountaintop, and not too low, way down into the flowing waters or somewhere. Actually, I have a story to tell about this. You know, I travel so many places. And every time I go to India, I try to practice this. Wherever I am, holy place, sacred place, it may be a temple, a tirth sthala, I try to get the energy and try to just even 2-3 minutes communion with Bhagavan. So I had gone to Gujarat, and from Baroda, Narmada river is not too far, Garudeshwar. And that Garudeshwar over there, 2 hours we are over there, and on the banks of Narmada, I saw that the water was so low. So I walked inside the river, and there are so many different rocks. I found a rock and I sat down and I just started meditating, and I'm like, what a beautiful thing. I'm meditating inside the river Narmada. And in some time, I started hearing the flow of the water. Eyes are closed, but I'm hearing the flow of the water. And I'm like, now the river must be flowing. And then in no time, I felt that, oh, I'm wet. And I opened my eyes. They had opened the gates of the dam. And I found myself in the middle of the river, and the river is gushing. I had a shock of my life. I ran. Actually, halfway through, I had to swim. Thank God I knew how to swim. So I remembered this shloka. I said, my God, Bhagavan has said so clearly, don't sit down in very low land. I found myself in the middle of the river Narmada, and I had no idea that they open the gates in the evening hours. And never again will I go in the middle of a river for meditation. I learned my lesson. Every time I see a river, I bow down, and little far away, not even on the banks, I sit. Little far away, I sit, and I offer my salutations, whichever river it may be. Even I had gone to Machu Picchu, the Rio de Urabamba, a beautiful river. I told my guide, I said, I have come all the way over here. These people, you can take them wherever you want. You have to give me half an hour. And I went on the banks of Rio de Urabamba, and I just, beautiful, silent place. Wherever we go, the breathtaking presence of nature itself is meditation, actually, And if we see a beautiful scene and try to bring it into the very curtain of our mind, meditation is when we actually tattoo a beautiful presence of Ishvara in the mind. That is what meditation is. It's a fine art of redoing the fabric of our mind by painting it with the presence of Ishvara. So that's why Bhagavan says, Shucho Deshe, in a sanctified, quiet place. That which is not too high, that which is not too low. Even if we sit on the top of a mountain, cold wind blowing, anything can happen. So Bhagavan says, find a decent place. Chaila Ajina Pusha Uttaram. Chaila, cotton cloth. Ajina, a skin, typically a deer skin. Kusha, and a kusha grass. See, this is olden days, so please don't go out there looking for this in United States. Or you can just sit on a simple asan, something which keeps the back straight. So in olden days, they used to put kusha grass because insects like scorpions, like termites, ants, cockroaches, they will typically not enter this kusha grass. I once meditated, I was meditating in our own ashram. Today is Tapovanji Maharaj's 75th Mahasamadhi. 16th of January 1957, Tapovanji Maharaj took Mahasamadhi. And today also happens to be Pushya Purnima, and he also took Mahasamadhi on Purnima 4 a.m. Muhurtam was Brahma Muhurtam. So that same place I meditated. I sat down when I was in Uttarkashi, and I woke up with something just going underneath my leg. I'm like, oh, what is this? And I opened my eyes and I tried to remove it. It was a scorpion as big as my hand, dark black in color. And I jumped up so high. That's also when I remembered this, but that's why Bhagavan Krishna said Kusha grass first. Because in Himalayas and in other places where people meditate on earth itself, the earth is filled with crawling insects. So Kusha grass, that insect will not come. And on top of it, a deer skin, and the deer skin serves so many purposes. First, if the earth is cold, it insulates and keeps the body heat. Second, the energy, it doesn't leak out. Third, it is a skin of a very fickle animal. Our mind is as fickle as deer. So symbolically, it is a representation of sitting on top of the mind. So the deer is alert. It is alert, looking out for predators that can catch it. In the same way, the mind has to be kept alert that no predatory object should be able to grab our attention. That is why deer skin. So these are some of the reasons. And then soft cloth, so that in case even if we do sweat, we will not stick to the deer skin. So these are the reasons. In Himalayas where people meditate, these instructions are given. Shucho deshe pratisthapya stiramatmana stiramasanamatmanah natyuchritam nati nicham chailajina kushottaram. In this way, may one come to meditate. May one meditate. May one come to meditate is what is prescribed over here. Continuing, Bhagavan says some more things about meditation. Shloka number 12. Tatraikagram mana krutva yata chittendriya kriyaha upavishyasane yunjyat yogamatma vishuddhaye. So Bhagavan is saying, Tatra ekagram manakrutva. Tatra, there seated on the seat of meditation. Mana ekagram krutva, keeping that mind single pointed. Now, how is this mind kept single pointed? Because every day we have tried to attempt to meditate even for few seconds, few minutes. So now when we actually sit down, we know how to take the mind to the higher. So with attention, manakrutva, yata chitta, keeping the mind under control. This is always mentioned because no 2 days are alike. Some days, if we've gone through some conducive experiences, the mind is quiet. Some days, if we've had some rough encounters with people or situations, we are disturbed. So we are not easily able to meditate. So controlling the mind is a factor of our daily living. Every day, the mind's conditions will be different, just like the tithi, the waning and the waxing, the Shukla Paksh and the Krishna Paksh. Mind symbolically in this world is represented as moon. So this is how our mind is. Like the moon, it continuously keeps on changing. And we are trying to bring about a changeless presence in our mind. So controlling the mind, and then yata chitta indriya indriya kriyaha. The chitta, mind, indriya, senses, kriya, the activities of these yata chittendriya kriyaha, chittendriya akriyaha, they are brought to non-activity. Over here kriyaha is said, but there is another, let me double check this book. Controlling the actions of mind and senses. So the mind and the senses completely controlled, brought to a rest. Upavishyasane, having seated in the seat of meditation. Yunjyat, the one should make an attempt to unite. Unite in what? Yogam, the practice of meditation. And what is that? Atma Vishuddhaye, for gaining a clear picture of the higher self. Atma, this self, Vishuddhaye, for the purification of the lower self and for gaining a clear picture of the higher self. So all our lower tendencies are burned and our higher nature is invoked. And that is what this meditation is. Now the actual prakriya of meditation in shloka number 13. Samam kaya shiro grivam dharayan achalam sthiraha samprekshya nasikagram swam dishaschanavalokayan. Samam kaya shira grivam. Samam, straight, kaya, body, shira, head, griva, neck, dharayan, holding the head, the neck and the back in a straight line. Dharayan achalam stiraha. Achalam, not moving, continuously. Some people move, they adjust. It's okay to adjust, but once we have adjusted and we find ourselves sitting down, try not to move. Any movement, physical movement, translates to the movement of the mind. So mind has to be kept still. So the physical body is kept still. So the still body is an insignia of a mind being still. Dharayan achalam sthiraha samprekshya nasika gram swam. Swam nasika agram sampreksha. At the tip of one's own nose, as though we are gazing. Now you don't just keep on gazing over there until your eyes hurt, you become cross-eyed. What is meant is the vision has to come to one single pointed awareness. Eyes closed and the vision is narrowing on one absolute presence. I am, I am, I am. Internally, you can also gaze, and that initial gazing will allow the wandering of the mind to come to still. And once the mind becomes still, we can come out of the internal gaze and just be in the silence. So sampreksha nasika gram swam dishaschanavalokayan. And obviously, if the eyes are closed and we are trying to go into the deeper realms, then we don't turn around and look around everywhere. So in this way, Bhagavan is asking us to meditate. Now, having found ourselves in the seat of meditation, some people become anxious and various emotions come out. So then now Bhagavan deals with that. We will continue with shloka number 14 onwards from next week. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om shanti shanti shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.